What's up, guys? Discount Beecroft here. Today I'll be showing you a good stealth build to start out with, because I know we've got a lot of new people coming to the game. So we're gonna start with a stealth build, but I'll be showing you a bunch of builds that new people are gonna be able to use for a while that are actually pretty decent. I'm gonna do this without like in one take, so there's gonna be a lot of jump cuts. So hate me if you will. All right, let's start it out. I'm gonna go straight to the skills. It's pretty simple. I'll be explaining all of these in order from left to right here, but I'm going to tell you the importance and priority you should do them in afterwards, because you're going to be starting from level 0 getting to 100 obviously. So first, we're going to go with Mastermind and just get Forced Friendship, which will increase your supply of cable ties. Cable ties are used to tie up civilians, so when you do that bank heist in a public lobby for the 30th time in a row, you're going to be very happy you have cable ties. Right, I'll be explaining this part later, but Enforcer is going to be important for bag movement and pretty much nothing else. So you're just going to ace Resilience. Transporter is going to be so you can throw bags further, and so you can carry bags faster. I'll explain more on that later. Like I said, priority will be explained at the end. And then we just want to get up to the Iron Man to increase total armor value, which will be explained later. Alright, Technician. We're going to get to Jack of all trades. The easiest way is to just go buy, ace. And this is going to make you deploy things 100% faster and allow you to equip a secondary deployable, which is going to be very helpful. The important part of a stealth build, besides ECMs, is always going to be drill skills. So we're going to get maxed out drill skills by acing these three: Hardware Expert, Drill Sergeant, and Kickstarter. And then we're going to get Trip Mines, which I'll explain what those do later. I'll have a gameplay portion here at the end. And then we did have 1 point left over, so I got Steady Grip for increased accuracy. Moving on to the really important tree, Ghost. We're going to go with pretty much everything in Shinobi. You're almost never going to need 2 body bag cases, so I opted out of acing Cleaner. But if you did want to ace Cleaner, I guess you could probably get rid of like Parkour and then ace Cleaner. But I like to be able to run and reload in Stealth. And then in Artful Dodger, we just get duck and cover for the speed. Inner Pockets ace because we will be wearing a ballistic vest, and the melee concealment rating is a big plus. Then the parkour is for the movement speed and sprint in any direction. And nothing in Fugitive. Alright, for weapons on this one, I've got just a simple Akimbo Shimano Compact, because that's a weapon you're going to have right at the beginning. And the only thing I would say put on it is some sort of suppressor, depending on what you got, because, you know, you're not going to have much when you start the game. So get any suppressor on there, or don't at all, because you will mostly be using your secondary in stealth. Which, for the secondary, we're going to use the God of all weapons, which is going to be the Judge. So I'm going to recommend, I believe you'll have one of these even if you're just having the game with no, I guess it's an Ultimate Edition item. Probably not going to be on there. You don't really need it anyway. I just had it on there. As far as barrel extension goes, you're going to want the Silent Killer Suppressor. That should be the only thing you have if you just got the game. Boost is going to be Concealment if you've got it. Really wasn't a no DLC Judge, was it? You can put a laser on it, but that might increase your concealment a little too high. Or your detection risk might go up past 3, which is the lowest, and you don't want that. And then no sight. We're trying to make this thing as small as possible. Alright. As far as melees go in stealth, I'm using the Fidget Spinner melee. But you can use pretty much anything you want. You just want to be paying attention to this concealment number. As long as that is at like 32 because of the one skill we got in Ghost. That's usually the most benefit you're going to get out of it. But with this build, I made sure everything was going to be okay if I used a 30 concealment melee and still stayed at 3 detection risk. So it's kind of up to you on that one. As far as throwables go, I've got throwing knives, but you can use whatever you want. Just don't use anything loud when you're doing stealth. This makes noise, this makes noise, this doesn't make noise. I haven't even seen this, but it says explosion in the name, so I'm going to go with it probably makes noise. Just use the Ace of Spades, please. People will get really annoyed with you. Get into Shadow Raid and you're like, oh, guard over here. Better hit him with a card. and then you blow them up and blow the entire mission. Just don't forget about your throwable, okay? Lastly, if you end up getting any of the DLC, have any of the DLC, Ultimate Edition, whatever, Burglar is always going to be your best stealth perk deck. An alternative to this one, though, would probably be Rogue, because it does give you, yeah, there you go, increased weapon swap speed. That's probably the most benefit you're going to get out of one perk deck. But Burglar is going to be the best if you end up getting the Ultimate Edition. And then we picked our Jack of all trades skill up, which means we can carry 2 deployables. You can left click for your primary, right click for your secondary. So what I prefer to use is I'm going to go ECM jammers as my primary, trip mines as my secondary, and I will explain why we use trip mines in the gameplay portion. The other alternative would be to take body bags. Never take body bags as your primary on this build, because we do only have 1 of them. You'll see on ECMs we've got 2 of them. Jack of all trades works so that your secondary, you take half of it, so if you've only got 1 of that item, you should definitely always take it as a secondary. You've got 2 ECMs, so you're going to want to take it as your primary, so you get both of them, instead of taking them as your secondary, where you're only going to get 1 of them, then having like body bags as your primary, where you're still only going to get 1, even if it was your secondary. Hopefully that all makes sense. Ask questions in the comments, I'm here to help. So we're going to do like that, my preferred way, depending on the heist. And now we're going to talk about the priority of the skills, okay? So when you're starting out at level 0, I want you to, for a stealth build, I want you to immediately, it's going to look completely blank in Artful Dodger. I want you to do this, and then this. Because movement speed and stamina are very important in stealth. You want to be able to move quickly, you want to be able to move for a long time. So movement speed and stamina are important. And then inner pockets is always going to be great to have. You probably will wear a 2-piece suit when you're doing stealth, but I'll explain the enforcer tree later. Okay, so you're going to want to pick up at least these 2. But then your next priority is going to be forced friendship because of the cable tie supply. So you can tie people down if you're doing a bank heist or something, which you'll do maybe like 2 or 3 heists, and you'll have probably around 30 points, maybe more than that, depending on your difficulty. You know. So next, in order of importance, is going to be the Shinobi tree. So if you want to be opening doors with ECMs, or like learning heists where you want to use ECMs a lot, or you want to be rushing heists where you just jam and then run in, you're going to want to use the Shinobi tree. So Chameleon is going to be very important to grab. It's going to be completely empty, as usual. Chameleon, you want to grab that, probably go straight up to like, let's say, yeah, grab 6th Sense or Cleaner. It's kind of up to you. You're going to want to ace that, ace that, ace that. So your tree should probably look like this as you're building the bare bones, but it should finish looking like this. And that's all for Shinobi. Technician's our last one that we're really going to focus on. The other one's kind of just not as important. But drill skills are going to help you drill faster, help you start the drill faster, help you punch the drill and make it start some of the time, which is really important in stealth because you want to just get it done. It's going to be sitting there all nice and boring. And then steady grip is just that extra point, extra accuracy. You could put it in whatever you want. You could increase your bleed out health for all I care, but or second wind in case your armor breaks. But steady grip was the only one that's going to be like a passive, helpful thing. Looking at engineer though, jack of all trades, you're going to want to get to that because we talked about the deployables earlier, which is the trip mines here. Yeah, we'll talk about those more in the gameplay section. Now, what you're probably wondering is why do I need to wear armor in a stealth mission where I'm not going to be shot at? Well, the answer might surprise you. The way transporter works here is you look at the basic, which is something you should pretty much always have in stealth if you can fit it in. You can throw bags 50% further, which is going to increase the speed at which you move things, or, you know, you can throw past somebody that's going to be blocking your vision. I don't know. It's helpful, okay? I don't need to explain it. Gotta tell you, it works. I'm the one with the experience. Okay. For each 10 armor points, the bag movement penalty is reduced by 1%. So when you're picking up, like, the artifact on Shadow Raid, you're gonna be moving at, like, no speed at all. But the fact that we're increasing armor here using we could ace this, but I couldn't really fit some points into there. But we're going to be wearing our ballistic vest, which is going to be increased by 30%. Better armor recovery rate, just in case you do break stealth, get shot or something, you know, it helps. On the higher difficulties, it's not going to help you quite as much, but it will help you for sure. And then, like I said, the higher armor values from all this here is going to make you move slightly faster, which is not as important. That's why this tree isn't super important, but I don't know. I was trying to optimize a build that was just really well made. So just if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. If you're feeling like, I don't know, you want to put fire trap on instead in case it goes loud, do that. You do whatever you want. Alright, that should be pretty much it for the build itself. I'm going to get us into some gameplay here, and I'll show you guys kind of the basics of what we're trying to do. Alright, that's time to discuss our deployables. I'll probably be jump cutting around here, don't make fun of me. But what's going to be happening here is I've got my silenced pistols, I've got my silenced judge. I'll show you why the judge is important. Basically, for these deployables, it's going to be really important to use your trip mines, which X is the default swap if you look in the bottom right there. I'm going to be placing these trip mines around, which in stealth will go down in sensor mode. The way sensor mode works is I'm going to place it down by like a commonly walked area. And we got somebody coming up right now. The blue laser, when broken, will actually mark enemies through walls. 2 of them. That's why you want to take trip mines on stealth missions, maybe when you're going to be walking around a lot, or you got a lot of area to cover. Or, you know, you just want to know what's around the corner, just place some trip mines down. It will not mark civilians. Keep that in mind. Will mark enemies, though. Just in the standard way, you can press F to mark them anyway. Keep that in mind. So it's always helpful to mark them with F if you see them. There's never a reason not to, so if you can manage it, just do it. Keep marking them. Even if it's not up, just keep marking them, so you know where they're at. I apologize if you hear my keyboard clicking, by the way.
Open those murky water containers. If anything has illegal loot, it will be them.
So now that you've learned kind of, you know, how trip mines are going to work, with their whole sensor mode, which never hit F on it. See the red laser, you're in for a treat when they walk through it. But, the next thing I really want to talk about is the Judge, which is the shotgun pistol I was using or telling you about earlier. I'm going to show you why the shotgun pistol that is the Judge is so good. And it's mostly going to be because body placement, if you get caught or you see a guy, you're like, oh, I wish I could move his body and then answer his pager. Well, you can, because you just blast them like that, and they'll move right in the way of somebody else. Then you can answer the pager.
Just adjusted my...
A word of warning, we do have trip mines, as I've been talking about this entire time. Make sure when you're going to pick something, it will highlight in green. So make sure, even when you have your shape charges as your secondary, not your ECMs or anything like that, keep an eye on the fact that you could be placing a shape charge versus picking a lock. And the noise will be different. I might turn the sound up here so you can hear it. But if you listen closely, you'll be rustling in a bag versus picking a lock. One of the other cool things about the ECM jammers, besides being able to open electronic doors, which, similar to how I showed you earlier about the C4 versus picking the lock, it'll highlight above the key card area of the door where you can put your ECM down. But the other cool thing is, if you were to place it down, then to shoot a guard with a pager, it will actually jam the pager because of one of the ace skills we got in the Shinobi tree. We're just going to wait for the jammer duration to end. And you'll see it'll start blinking once it's about to run out. It's all done, turns green, and the pager comes up.
Can't quite...
I'd also like to point out it's very important that when you go to your ECM, if you're running past it and maybe like pressing F to hit something like, oh, there's some loot over here by the ECM, don't turn feedback on. That will blow the entire stealth mission. Everybody in the map becomes alerted. But make sure not to turn on ECM feedback, which is only applicable if you hold your action button and place it on a valid surface.
Okay.
Decent strategy when you've been spotted while answering a pager is to get the civilian down, hold still, and when they stop you, fire on them.
Get down on the ground. We're fine, Control.
And try not to get spotted by
Just wanted
cameras.
to hear your voice.
Alright, now that I've sufficiently failed this heist... Shut up, Bane.
Want you to silently enter.
Now that I've sufficiently failed this heist multiple times trying to do this video, I think I'll end it off there. I've given you quite a few tips and tricks. If you guys have any questions about any of this, just ask down in the comments below. Or I will be leaving my stream URL on twitch.tv/luckycharms1313. I'll be leaving that in the description if you want to check that out. This is kind of the first build I'll be doing, but I'll be doing a series of builds. I'll have a playlist for that. This is a no DLC, no infamy required build. So be sure to check out other ones if you're new to the game. I'll be giving tips and tricks about loud and stuff in those other ones. This will probably be the only stealth one I do, but if you're into loud or you need to learn loud, go ahead and go check those other ones out. Got any questions, just pop into stream. I stream pretty much every night starting today. So if just come ask questions. Ask anybody even. Go on the subreddit or something like that. Most people are forgiving on there. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I helped some of you out if you're newer to the game. Even if you're not newer to the game. Hope I gave you some cool tips and tricks to use. That's pretty much it, though. Catch you guys later.